A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a surprising turn of events, former President Donald Trump has expressed his willingness to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin, regardless of whether Putin agrees to meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. During a recent press interaction, Trump was asked if a meeting with Putin would require the Russian leader to first engage with Zelensky. Trump's response was clear: no, he doesn't. No, this statement comes on the heels of Putin's own remarks, where he indicated hope for a meeting with Trump in the near future, potentially in the United Arab Emirates. However, the White House has been cautious, with Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stating that details are still being worked out. The context for these discussions is critical. They come just as the White House has set a deadline for Russia to demonstrate progress in resolving the ongoing war in Ukraine, a conflict that has now stretched into its third year. Trump, when asked about the impending deadline, emphasized that the decision lies with Putin and expressed disappointment over the lack of progress. He stated, "It's going to be up to him. We're going to see what he has to say." Very disappointed. This sentiment reflects the ongoing frustration felt by many regarding the violence that has plagued both sides of the conflict. Trump noted, "I don't like long waits. I think it's a shame." The dynamics of the potential meeting are complicated by the fact that a White House official has indicated that a U.S.-Russian summit is unlikely if Putin does not agree to meet Zelensky. However, the official later clarified that this would merely make such a meeting less likely, rather than impossible. Putin himself has indicated that he is open to discussions with Zelensky, but insists that certain conditions must first be met, suggesting that any meeting should occur only when a negotiated agreement is close. This stance has raised concerns in Ukraine about being sidelined in negotiations between the U.S. and Russia. Zelensky has been proactive in engaging with European leaders, seeking their support as Ukraine continues to face Russian aggression. European nations have reiterated their commitment to supporting Ukraine until the threat from Russia is neutralized. The Kremlin's dismissive attitude towards Zelensky's involvement in high-level talks has been evident, with Putin's foreign affairs advisor, Yuri Ushakov, downplaying the likelihood of Zelensky attending the summit. Historically, Putin has rebuffed Zelensky's attempts at direct dialogue, opting instead to negotiate through intermediaries. As the prospect of a meeting looms, the stakes are high. This summit would mark the first direct engagement between a U.S. president and Putin since 2021, when President Joe Biden met with the Russian leader in Geneva. However, the potential for meaningful outcomes remains uncertain, as both Moscow and Kyiv have significantly different conditions for peace. The ongoing war has resulted in staggering casualties, with tens of thousands of military personnel lost and over 12,000 civilian deaths reported by the United Nations. Western officials have accused Putin of deliberately stalling negotiations to allow Russian forces to gain further ground in Ukraine. Trump has faced criticism for his previous handling of the situation, often downplaying Russia's aggressive actions while questioning Ukraine's role in the conflict. His shifting tone reflects the complexities of international diplomacy and the challenges of navigating a resolution to the war. Zelensky has emphasized the necessity of a ceasefire and long-term security guarantees in any negotiations with Russia. He stated, "Ukraine is not afraid of meetings and expects the same bold approach from the Russian side. It is time to end the war." Recent developments in the conflict, including a Russian attack in the Dnipro region that resulted in civilian casualties, underscore the urgency for a resolution. In a recent Gallup poll, a significant majority of Ukrainians expressed a desire for a peace settlement, with around 70% advocating for negotiations to commence as soon as possible. As the world watches these developments unfold, the question remains, will Trump's willingness to engage with Putin lead to a breakthrough in the conflict, or will it simply serve to further complicate an already intricate geopolitical landscape? That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.